I was on a call a few weeks ago with some people from some of the higher ups at Open Table, and we showed them this live.
Yeah.
They were like, "Whoa, how did you do that? It's crazy." Because it does, and it gets everything. It pulls in all like if there's allergen information on there, if there's modifiers on there, it kind of pulls it all in and works it all out. So yeah, it's incredible. The development team took a long time working out prompts and things like that, and doing that prompt engineering.
Yeah, it's difficult
to really define it. And there was lots of trial and error, and there was lots of things that rounds of testing to get it right. But now it's an incredible feature and such an advancement to the product.
Yeah. Welcome to Captive Conversations, brought to you by Captive Wi-Fi. I'm your host, Adam Foreman. This podcast brings you the best stories from suppliers, marketers, and operators from our beloved hospitality sector. Now, let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. Episode 63. And I have Reiss and Louise from Set Menu. And another company we won't talk about. Thank you for coming down, to be fair. And we're going to have some interesting conversations about the product and how it's helping lots of people. Because when I mention it, they just sort of like breathe. So don't worry, it's not drugs, but it might feel like one. Okay.
Stressfully.
So, yeah, stressfully. Okay. So we're going to dive in. You can choose who wants to pick which question. So question one, that was from Jack Edge, who came on last week. If you had to eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Should we both answer that one?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is. So when I thought about this, right, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I love a sharing platter. I love tapas, right? So it's the social element of getting together with friends around a table. You know, I love a cheese board, I love a meat platter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be that, but then I get a variety as well. It's a great cheat. I thought so as well. So yeah, that would be mine. Tapas all the way.
Tapas all the way.
Now, mine is a specific food, but I still feel like it's kind of cheating.
Okay.
Because mine would be burritos.
Yeah.
I love Mexican food, so given. But also burritos have kind of like a mixture of food in it, and you can also.
Is there a specific burrito that you would only eat?
No, I would kind of mix it up because then you've got a varied diet, but still only eating burrito.
Seriously, he's going to be so upset. He's like expecting you to say cheese, and no, okay, burritos.
But yeah,
that's a type of food.
Also, it's quite balanced as well. You've got the salad in there, you've got the meat in there, a bit of everything, bit carbs.
I have to confess, when my office used to be down the road on Charlotte Street, Oaxaca was opposite.
Oh.
And I'd always go towards the end of because I had a taqueria in there. They don't really do have that taquerias anymore.
Yeah, okay.
So you could go in and just get a burrito rather than going in and sit down.
Yeah, nice.
And they'd see me coming and they'd be like...
And they'd run away.
Yeah, well, they see me, they were like, everything's gone. And I was like, well, there's a bit of meat there, there's a bit of chicken there, there's a bit of this. And they were like, oh, we'll just do everything.
Yeah.
So I walk out with this like bullet of like this humongous thing. And that was my lunch for a good couple of years. So, but yeah,
can't be a burrito.
Can't go wrong with Mexican food. I do agree.
No, true. Okay, what do you think is next in the terms of data in hospitality? We all talk CRM, tech stack, etc. What's next?
So, I mean, the buzzword around the industry, not just this industry, every industry, right, is AI.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge potential with AI as a whole. I think hospitality is moving more and more towards having personalized experiences, and people, when they go out, they really want that experience. And also bringing people back into your venue after they've come for their first visit is really, really important, especially with all the issues and struggles that we've had in hospitality. Now with AI, it allows us to really personalize those experiences, and to be honest, I think what is happening in the industry right now is barely scratching the surface of what could happen. So I'm excited over the next few years to see where that goes and how using that data, because I think more and more brands are collecting more data now, but actually the more they can leverage that with AI, the more interesting things are going to get, right?
And I think just adding to that, and again, kind of AI specific, it's about watching that journey of it going from being a really kind of reliable reporting tool to more of a predictive engine. So as an example, you know, really looking at me as a customer, as a loyal customer, and predicting when I'm next going to visit, and actually tailoring that outreach and that marketing effort to hit and land at the right time. So when I'm thinking about, I'm going to go to Oaxaca, all of a sudden, it's almost that get inside your head, type mentality that AI, I think, is going to allow us to do more
Yeah.
and more.
Yeah.
And that's going to be quite exciting, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. There's so much data out there already, but the technology is talking to each other, but not really enough. Like, there's so much there. So you could go and book a table for something, and you'd have all this information on your booking platform, but then the waiter just drops you off at the table. And or they might do it on the higher end. You'll have that little chip printer, but they still will look at it and just go, okay, I'll give those allergens to the waiter.
Yeah.
Or maybe if it's your birthday, say hello. But I still think there's a massive need for. I wish that maybe the CRMs and all the other platforms out there could plug in better to the res and plug in better to your experience, so that everyone's treated like your best mate.
And it's almost, you've kind of got that back of house to an extent. You can do that and you can be prepared, but actually when it comes to being front of house and in service, it's very easy to kind of be caught up in everything else that you're kind of trying to do to make that guest experience the best it can possibly be. So it's trying to match the quality and detail that you can get, but actually put that in the hands of the server.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is quite interesting.
We could talk about that for hours.
We could.
It's a whole podcast of its own.
I actually wouldn't mind talking about. We talk about like touchless loyalty and everything else, and there's so much to talk about that could help everyone and make things better and make things easy. But
I think the overarching message is that the future of hospitality tech there is quite exciting with the introduction of AI and the advancements as that keeps going, and the more things come together, it's the possibilities are
hyper personalization. There you go.
Yeah,
it's a good one, isn't it?
It's a good buzzword.
Yeah. So okay, standard questions. You can do one each if you like. Best hospitality experience, or have you chosen to do which ones? I've done this, up to you.
Oh, I've got an answer for both.
Yeah, me too. So, right, well, I'll go in because when we were talking about this, we were like, it's very easy to kind of go straight to a restaurant experience because it's what we do often. But actually, we both thought a bit out of the box for this one. So, for me, I have recently returned from a Virgin voyage. It's my second one, and they just get it right. Like, they are just the way they go above and beyond from the moment you book, right through the way that they engage with you through their app. It feels personal from the offset, and the way they translate that then when you get on board, from your cabin person, don't want to call them cabin maid because that feels wrong, but cabin person, knowing who you are before you even kind of walk through the door, and it just feels personal. And I think the second thing with that is the ethos and the culture that they grow within their team. They treat them as a business the way they want them to treat the guests. So, for example, they dine in the restaurant with the guests, and when they have time off, they get off the ship and they go on excursions with the guests. So they're almost living the Virgin Voyages experience as a member of the team. And getting paid for the privilege, and it shines through. They are happy to be there, and they work damn hard, these people. It's a real... It's uplifting. It's a real game changer for me. And I don't think I'd ever cruise with anyone else now. They've broke the mold.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's because you've got older children and you allow adults only cruises now.
Okay, so I was thinking, I have a nearly 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, so not.
There you go.
I have not yet, but okay, I'm with you. So.
So for me, again, went kind of away from restaurants because I feel like that's the obvious thing, and actually. Like we said before, I think hospitality is changing in terms of you want more of an experience when you go out for that hospitality side of things. Now, for me, I love like competitive socializing, whether that's Top Golf or Flight Club or all the other ones. There's so many, Sixes, etc. And actually, they're all great because you get that really fun experience with your friends. And have great food and great time while you're doing it. But I think for me, one that really stood out as surprising to me was Electric Shuffle.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily saying that is the best one that I've been to, but more, it's just shuffleboard, right? So things pretty average game, but actually the way that they've done it and the way they've executed it is fantastic. And it's really... competitive, like everybody, as soon as they get in there, they're like, right, I'm challenging you. It's a great game.
It's a good game. I think the amazing thing about because we had we just released a podcast with Daniel Keane, Urban Village Pubs, and the opportunity for pubs now to have that dead space to turn it into. So we were at the Comstock event,
Yeah.
And I mean, I've not been to an operator event like that in my life. It was unbelievable.
It's very well attended.
It was
Thousands
just
of people.
I just never seen anything like it. But it was really cool. But it was really interesting to speak to people about all their spaces, but speaking to Daniel about his space and talking about, we had an upstairs space and we never used it, so now it's karaoke and it's this and it's that.
It's great.
It's just, so I think the generation of how things are changing.
Just adding extra elements of interest for your venue.
And it feeds into the whole generational thing. I'm so obsessed at the minute with reading about the generations and how, in the workplace in another 5 years, we're going to have 7 different generations employed in one business. And it's so interesting to read about how they respond to things. So for them, that experiential thing is what drives them out into the pubs, into the restaurants, into the comp sort venues, because they want that experience with their friends. They're not overly bothered. And I'm speaking from having a 19 and a 17-year-old. That's what they're looking for. They're not overly concerned about, downing pints, and it's about the experience, the social elements. So
hold on, 17-year-old, not 18-year-old? How did you work that out on the cruise?
Oh, he just didn't get invited. He stayed at home with a 19-year-old.
Perfect.
We had a great time.
Yeah, love that. No, I agree with you. It's interesting, even talking to my kids and having a chat and like looking at restaurants, or when we were away, where should we go? And they're straight on TikTok, straight on looking online, looking at real content rather than us on TripAdvisor and Google.
That's a shift that I still can't get my head around. The fact that research is now done on TikTok Reels, Instagram Reels. It's just crazy.
It is crazy. But my friends were looking to go away, and the agent was like, this beautiful, all-inclusive, and they got kids same age as ours. And they're like, great, this is amazing. And I told the kids, and they were like, oh, it sounds awesome. For 5 seconds, they were on, and they were like, Dad, look, they're building here. Yeah. This is broken. Look at this video. And he's like, look at the guy, he lied to me. Now, the trust piece is gone. So then they were like, okay, well, you now find us a hotel. So they found a brand new hotel that was opening. They just opened, and then they called the agent and was like, okay, move us here. And they had a great time. And that was all just because the kids looked for the hotel. Crazy.
And the thing is, it's instant results there, right?
Right. Happy kids on holiday, that is an absolute game changer. You're winning at life.
You're winning. Okay. Okay. Best hospitality tech, but no self-noms.
So I think over the last few years, hospitality's had a really tough time. And we keep saying, everybody in this industry keeps saying, it's going to get better. But actually what seems to be happening is we just get used to it and then something else happens. And actually, I think going back to what we were saying about data and AI and us be able to do hyper personalized experience, I think that is really important for us moving forwards, because as more and more issues or blockers come our way and difficulties, actually the more that we can hyper personalize everything, also the more that we can reduce costs, the better it's going to be, because everything keeps getting more expensive, right? So for me, I thought about this question as what sorts of companies are helping do that, and actually going back to AI, I think those sorts of people that are leveraging AI and the data to be able to improve efficiency in the front of house, and also using CRM guest data to bring people back in again, a really good one. So I thought about like Tenzo and Airship and companies like that that are really working in that space.
Nice. I think the great products. It'd be nice if you could fuse them both together. I know they're pulling reviews in now into Tenzo, so that's really interesting. But it'll be, I think, if a big client of theirs says, well, can you pull all the customer data in? That would be very interesting. What about you?
I look more specific. So I'm a massive fan of TipJar. Big shout out to Dan and Hannah and the team. I think, what they do is solving a real world problem. And we talk a lot about personalised guest experience and focusing on the guest. And it's right, that's what we should be doing. But actually, in a time where recruitment, retention, keeping skilled people in your business is such a challenge, to actually be doing something that directly talks to them from a kind of motivational point of view. And, you can see the results and the types of clients they're working with, the testimonials they get. They're doing it for the goods, and it works. So yeah, I'm a big fan of TipJar. I think they've got an amazing future, and they just keep bringing out new great things. And it's kind of, they've taken what is ultimately compliance, which is a bit of a boring subject, and turned it into something really sexy that everyone wants. And it's playing a big part in the future of bringing people into hospitality. So
I love all the little little pieces of the puzzle. Like you can keep your jar there, you can have it loaded, you can use it, and then the discount pieces they're doing. It's a really clever product. I mean,
to be honest, the proof is in the pudding as well. I'm not sure if you saw their most recent marketing campaign where they had all of their actual end users that are actually working in the front of house, and them talking about how tip jar has changed things for them and the things that it's allowed them to do.
Yeah,
that's really powerful, right?
Yeah.
Massive.
Really
Massive.
powerful.
That's what everyone wants, right?
Yeah,
You want the front end to say, Matt, your product's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we sort of go back in time a little bit. So you can choose who wants to go first, but maybe we'll go with Louise first.
Okay.
And talk about I always ask the question is did you work in hospitality in the early days, and then we can sort of tee into sort of where you went, and because to be fair, it's 2 decades.
I know. Can we not talk about that?
I'm 2 decades in hospitality tech, so it's like I was with someone the other day who was doing like a pretend interview. He goes, Adam, so how's 3 decades in tech? And I was like, what? I was like, oh, I didn't mean that. Sorry. So, but it's good. 20 years sounds long, but 2 decades sounds more mature.
More mature. Yeah, I'll take that. It's more about the experience, right? And look, I never set out with an intention to get into hospitality. But funnily enough, when I look back on 2 decades, it's kind of every role has been in some shape or form, whether it's leisure, tourism, travel, hospitality. The common theme for me was always about people, being surrounded by them, and offering some kind of, whether it be entertainment. I mean, I was a dancer, on a cruise ship many years ago. That's not on my CV, but just throw it in.
Yeah, I'll see if my research about
it got back that far. But I think that, again, the common theme for me was really about seeing, I was a holiday rep at one point as well, but it was seeing the kind of joy that people got from the experiences that they were involved in, that kind of, I was helping them kind of generate that. It's so addictive. Yeah. It's like an adrenaline rush. And I must admit, in my 20s, it was kind of fun. Like, I had a great time. I travelled a bit and done lots of different roles. I think when it became more serious for me was when I started getting more involved in kind of sort of supply chain and contracting, and I was good at it, and I really enjoyed it, and that kind of took me on a bit of a path through hotel sector, conference and events. Yeah. And again, I never saw myself as a salesperson, commercially minded, and that was a sort of path that I just kind of fell into. And again, I thought, quite good at this. I'm getting the results, but the one consistency for me has always been relationship building. I'm a relationship builder. I'm not a hard cutthroat salesperson that sells and moves on. And I kind of pride myself in the fact that I've still got clients that are with me now that were with me 10 years ago, beyond that, when I was at Zonal, or when I was at Young Pingo or Wild Social. And that's because we've got the relationship, and they'll come and say, what are you doing now? What's that all about? Tell me about it. Oh, that's interesting. And that comes down to relationship, and that was purely in St. Place. So it kind of went from being a bit of a hobby and something I really enjoyed to actually there's a career here. There's something I can really take forward for the rest of my career if I so
you touched on Zonal. Was Zonal your first bit into tech?
No, actually it was just before that. So I worked for a company called Beacon, who were the purchasing arm of Best Western Hotels. Yeah. And they were a reseller of Procure Wizard. So they were a Procure Wizard product. I actually met my husband through that as well. Oh, really? So I said that's a different story. So they were a reseller of Procure Wizard. So I was kind of involved in the selling of and the onboarding of, in conjunction with the Procure Wizard team. I actually went to work for William Gordell and the team there for a while. In their purchasing arm, kind of as a bit of a sideline. So that was kind of my first experience of tech and hospitality. And a great product, but a fantastic product. And from there it was Zonal. But when it's Zonal after that. So the kind of whole tech stack and the suite of products led by their Great Pros product. It was a lot. It took a lot of getting my head around, having never really been in the tech world before that. But still very fun. It was nearly 8 years with Zonal. It's a very fun time.
Lots changed.
Lots changed. Absolutely, lots changed. But some great memories working with some great people, and
then onto the Young Pingo.
Jump in, go wireless social. Wireless social then, as you know, was Salt Access Group. And as part of that, there was a bit of a restructure and some changes made to the sort of commercial team. So, yeah, that was a bit of an exit for me. And then I went to work with Cam and Katie and the team. Fantastic time, you know, Katie was looking for a bit of support in terms of, you know, what is Cam, where's it going, what's our direction, and just wanted a different pair of eyes to come in and sort of help her refine that. And, you know, in a roundabout way, within 9 months, I kind of always taught myself out of a job, I think, because we got the fun.
I'm done now. What's
I'm done now. What's next?
Yeah.
But I think, again, the common theme was just around those relationships. And for me, the biggest learning with Cam, it kind of let me go more into, I was doing quite a lot with the drinks brands and a little bit of retail, and it was nice to kind of experience something different, because it's a big world out there outside hospitality, and I think, like you said, it's addictive, and once you're in it, it's very hard to leave. And there's been times where I've thought, right, now's the time, I'm going to go and do something else, and no, just can't bring myself to do it. It's hard.
And then when did you find...
Well, Reiss and I have actually known each other quite a while. Yeah, a few years, and just through partnerships, through different,
and
you know,
just
tech,
events,
different things. In fact, I think before I joined the team at Set Menu, I think our last memory was singing karaoke to Robbie Williams at the Propel Summer Party. I mean,
dancing the night away.
Dancing the night away, which was great fun. So I obviously, when I was moving on for Cam, kind of went out to my social network, which I have to say has never let me down. And again, testament to relationship building and kind of your you know, relying on your network. So I sort of went out to my network with you know, ready for my next opportunity, and Reiss reached out and told me a little bit about the plans for Set Menu, which I'd never really heard of, because up till that point Set Menu was really a bit of a ghost product, kind of hiding behind the Order Pay banner. But when we sort of explained what the plan was and what they were looking to do with Set Menu, I kind of went on the call, and I've told them this, I was just kind of being nice, have the call and just, you know, take the box, because I like Reiss, and I'll have a conversation. No intention of actually being interested in going and working for what I would have thought at the time was Order Pay, but you've done such a good job
But when you're around
selling it. And I think what excited me was two things really. Just that vision of what they wanted for Set Menu and what it could be. And the second thing was the fact that it's been built and led by an operator addressing a real world pain point.
Yeah, massive.
Not just a tech company going, oh, we're going to create this really nice shiny thing, and then we're going to try and sell it to lots of operators who'll go, well, that doesn't fix that, and it doesn't fix that. The fact that it's been operator led, it's been tried and tested in real life environments.
Okay, so we're gonna go to that. So we're gonna go to the info bit after, because we still need to tee on to you. So we will talk more about the product, because I'd love to learn more about it, which is probably a good tee on for you, to be honest with you, of where it all came from. Should we go back to your history?
We can do, yeah, of course. So I come from a history of tourism management, actually. So as you said before, still kind of hospitality. It's all about people, experience, etc. But for me, I kind of ran away from the UK as soon as I possibly could. I've always been a big believer of doing things you enjoy. And for me, when I was younger, I just wanted to travel and explore. So I worked abroad for 6.5, 7 years. Basically lots of different jobs for destination management companies, working in different locations. And we'd do I met my wife doing that. We met up in Lapland.
Oh, wow.
And then we kind of carried on for years.
Did you carry on together doing the same thing?
Yeah, so I met her in, I think, year 2 of doing that. And then and she was doing the same, obviously. And then we just carried on. So, we traveled all around Europe for a few years. We did all of Asia, Southeast Asia, down over to Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Tonga, all those sorts of places, China, India. So it was amazing.
Holidays are really difficult. Like, where we're going to go away?
No. Where have we not been?
Well, we're going to go to Brighton, because we've not been there yet.
Do you know the funny thing is, though, actually, the more you travel, the more you experience places, the longer your list gets of places you still want to go. So I did that for a long time. And during that, we were doing short contracts for different, like I say, DMCs. Now, it kind of dawned on me very early on that I wanted to continue doing that. And actually the vast majority of people that were doing it were only doing it for a year or two, like gap year sort of thing. But I wanted to extend it. So actually I started working my way up through the roles basically, into more of the management side. And then my final role abroad was, basically as an area manager, of a few ski resorts around France.
Yeah.
And then
The hard life.
yeah, again, just doing fun stuff. That was great, and living in people's holidays basically, which was very cool. But then we decided to have a family, so we came back to the UK. And then when I came back to the UK, that's when I transitioned into tech.
Yeah.
So then I started working for Oyo Rooms, who are a hotel company, Indian-based hotel company, but they're global. They're quite big in the UK now as well. And there is where I really started to learn about the tech side of things, and I also had a few different roles in a few different departments as well, so I got to see a lot of that. And then obviously started at OrderPay 4 years ago, and that's when things kind of changed, because then I really started to focus on solely hospitality. And actually now I've got such a love for hospitality, and definitely something I want to continue.
So what was the role? Because 4 years ago was a tricky time.
Yeah.
So did you start before? Or
no, so it's just
after?
post-COVID. Yeah. And I started as head of onboarding. So I basically came in to rip out all of our operations and rebuild them all, and bring in new processes and systems and all that sort of stuff. And now obviously COO, but I think it's...
So did you do different roles throughout the company, or was
I
done that, I fixed that onto the next?
No, it was kind of that initially. So I came in, fixed the onboarding side, and then took over the support side of things as well, did similar there, and then kind of just grew over time into the role that I'm in now. But I think the bit that I love about my role now is just the team. I think Set Menu / OrderPay, we have such an incredible team, and I just love working with everybody. I mean, Lou's been with us for 4 months now,
just almost three.
Sorry. I feel so forever. It's been so natural.
The best possible way.
Yeah, in the best possible way. You've just been so natural in the business.
Yeah.
But no, it's been amazing to see the team grow, and I think how resilient they are, and also how close the team are. Whenever we do regular catch-ups, because we're all fully remote, but we do regular catch-ups and meetups, and every time we all get together, like, it's just like a bunch of friends getting together to have fun, which is really nice. And that's what I love about the industry as a whole, because the hospitality industry is all about that, right? It's very about meeting people, creating new relationships, like you say, and just everybody having a good time.
So let's go to the origin now, shall we? Of where it came from. So Set Menu, great name, by the way. And it's like something that says that the way it says on the tin, right? So you sort of need to. It's not hard to explain.
Needs the introduction.
But where did that come from? Where did hold on, we've done this now. Where did that come from?
So we were obviously OrderPay. Well, we still are. We still operate OrderPay, but we had quite a few operators. Obviously, we were working with one of those operators. We worked quite closely with, Bill's Restaurants.
Yeah.
Who came to us and basically said, "We have a massive problem, and we like working with you guys.
Yeah.
We've worked very closely with you guys. Is it something you can help us solve?" And basically, the problem they were having is at Christmas, they have so many Christmas bookings, a massive influx of group bookings. And what they're doing is using spreadsheets to manage the pre-orders for those bookings. So there was a massive reservations team of 12 people that were having to email out for a group booking, saying, right, here's the menus, please work out what your guests want to order. They obviously don't do it. So then these reservations teams are having to chase continually, and then they're having to, once they get the data, it comes through in different formats. Yeah. Then they're having to work out how to piece all that together and get it over to the venue. It's a ball ache, right?
Yeah.
So they basically said, can we work with you to design a new system that will automate all of that process? And that's where Set Menu came from.
Yeah, I love that. Working with an actual problem. I hate the word problem because it's just my brother always been told it's an unresolved opportunity. But when you can fix a problem, it's massive. Yeah. Finding that problem. So were you able to sort of tweak like in the origins of the product when you did they give you a couple of test places to test it out? Like or was it just Bill's, you're like, here you got 3 sites, go off you go?
Bill's were 45 sites at the time, I think. And the initial rollout was to all sites.
All sites.
Yeah. So we did kind of batches of bookings instead of sites. So
fine.
the first launch was a few hundred. I can't remember how many bookings now, but a small batch of bookings, and then we just went to everybody. Because the system was.
It feels weird. So they like test it in a couple of different spots and then roll it out.
I mean, the thing is, we built it with them and with OpenTable. Because OpenTable is their booking platform, and between us, I think everybody was just very comfortable with what had been built. So it was a small trial phase, and then it was just let's get this live and let's support your Christmas. And to be honest,
what was that difference in Christmas?
That's what I was going to say. The results they had from that first Christmas and their second Christmas and their third Christmas have been incredible. They have they've had record-breaking Christmases, I believe, all 3 of those years. Because of reduced costs, and also obviously they've done a lot of new marketing and stuff over that time as well, so that's really helped. But also their efficiency has massively improved. They've there's a 67% reduction, I think it is, on staff labor costs on the reservation side of things as well. It's they're getting some amazing results. And also the biggest thing is the data capture is absolutely massive, because if you think what they were doing before with just the booking system, you're getting that one organized details, whereas actually a table of 10 or a table of 14 is actually, you've got 13 missed opportunities there to get customer data, whereas actually with set menu you're collecting data for every single person, which is huge.
So let's talk about how that process works, because the name says it, right? But let's talk about because you can, all well and good, just create, someone calls you and says, all right, I've got Zapier, I'm going to do some really fun stuff with an email, and I'm going to put it into Excel, and it's going to do some fancy stuff. There's lots of operators out there who will just try and make some cool stuff. The reality of I spoke, I forwarded you I forwarded you a client, and they couldn't use you at that point. But when I was talking to them about that, and he just threw out a comment, we spend 10 hours a week just trying to sort it, and it's like an experiential venue. We were just talking about Wi-Fi, and it was just and he was like, and the guy was next to him was, I was like, what's up? And he goes, we've got another meeting to talk about the next set of events next week. And I was like, how's it going? It's going really well, but we spend at least 10 hours more a week just going through all the pre-bookings, which is killing them, and they just aren't happy to do it. They just don't want to do it. So and then obviously we were speaking, so I thought of the product. But let's talk about how. So I understand it fixes stuff, but let's talk about how it actually works.
Okay. So, did you want me to say this, or do you want to?
Carry on, you're on a roll.
I feel like I've been talking for a little while.
Go for it.
So, in terms of functionality, the way that it works is an organizer goes to, or lead booker, whoever you want to call them, goes to the booking website or the brand's website. They make a booking. We basically have integrations into those booking platforms. We pull that data straight in to our system because it meets a certain criteria, which needs a pre-order. Then when it lands in our system, we send that customer through the pre-orders flow. So the way it works is they receive a link so that they can basically share that link through social channels. And they can choose whether they want all the guests to order for themselves or whether they want to order for all the guests. So let's say it's like a PA that's organising an executive dinner. They might want to do it for everybody. By the way, most of the time it's like the guests order for themselves. They share that link however they want. So they can share it via email, WhatsApp, Instagram, however they want to do it. People then click on that link. They just put in their name and their email address, and then they go through to the ordering flow. Now, that sounds super simple, but actually the beauty of it is that it's simple. But also the beauty is all the things that happen in the background. So if the organizer hasn't invited their guests, they'll get automated reminders. They don't get told to go in and add their guests until a certain date that the operators have there. So
you don't get, if you book in 3 weeks in advance, you're going to get an immediate email to just freak you out.
Well, that's the thing. Some people book for Christmas now, right? And it's August. And you don't want to receive that, invite your guests for your Christmas booking now. You want to receive it a few weeks before, right? So
I think that's one of the massive USPs with the platform. It's so configurable. It's very much led by how do you operate as an individual operator. you define what that journey looks like and that flow for your
So rather than a set product where you like a standard booking engine, you book it, it's going to ask you immediately, like some of the other booking platforms out there that will you'll immediately get an email back with, this is the price, this is how much it is, fill this out, and then it'll just continue reminding you until you've done it.
And I think that configurability is a big part of the product as a whole as well. We try and make everything as versatile as possible, and just every brand is different in hospitality, right? They all want different things and they want everything to operate differently. So actually, the more customization you can put in it, the happier people are, right? So, like we said, they get the emails going out to them, but also the guests themselves. If they've added their name and their email address, but they've not actually gone in and left their pre-orders, they might load it up and go, I've not got time to do that. Which I'm sure happens all the time. They will also receive automated reminders. So again, it just takes all the friction points away from the reservations team, and actually the system just does it all for them. And then the beauty of the whole system is that it obviously collects everybody's details, which is great during that onboard of the guests. But then also it brings all the data of the pre-orders into one place, one centralized system called Set Menu Manager, where they can pull full-on reports of absolutely all the data. So they can see front of house reports, back of house reports, kitchen stock control reports, which obviously massively help with food waste.
But let's talk about, we've done the flow, they've done the booking, the booking's been sent to the booker, they can share out to whoever they want to go. The 10 people have all filled out their information. We're back into your platform, and then that auto flows back into that relevant POS for the day, or how does that work in that piece? Like at the end, like on the day, so they get their report, because back in the day you have an Excel sheet and someone's walking around with an Excel sheet freaking out of of what's happening. What happens on with your piece?
So we do have the ability to inject into POS. So once we have all the data, we can basically get a webhook from the booking platform to say, right, these people are seated, and then we can inject into the POS. To be honest though, a lot of our operators don't use the POS injection. It's really interesting actually. We have the ability, but most of them don't. Now the main reason is because the reports that we provide actually suffice enough, and actually we even do place cards and things like that as well. So you can print off place cards from the system, put them in front of every person, and then instead of going over and saying, Paul, Paul, who was this, Paul? You can literally go straight over to the person and put it straight on the desk, which, especially for that fine dining element, it's useful, right?
The latest campaign is kind of entitled Who's Having Chicken, because it is that classic thing of, who's having the chicken, no one remembers, and you're looking at each other, and there's the
It's so embarrassing as well, right? And then someone gets the wrong food. And then,
Well, and I think the bit you've kind of missed out to mention, there's
I know exactly
loads, but around allergen management, like it's so critical. Trying to manage that on a spreadsheet, particularly in this day and age where so many people have so many different allergies and intolerances, the ability to have that tracked to that specific person, and actually again through run sheets, place cards, kitchen sheets, it's detailed, excuse me, by every person, every dish, and it follows them through the entire journey. So it just really removes that element of risk, which you have when you're manually managing a process like that. Very, very easy to lose that information, get it confused with someone else. And again, you put in a dish down that, it could be that particular item can be served gluten-free as well as sort of standard. Mixing those up can have real consequences to the person.
There's my wife's gluten and
and
right.
You can ruin that entire experience for that whole party by something like that. So something excuse me, we take really seriously is the allergen management. It's something that happens right at the start of the customer flow. We're very clearly asking them, look, have you got allergies? Tell us about them. And the system can very cleverly look at the menu through the allergen matrix and actually grey out the items that particular guest can't really select because of the allergen. Or it's got the option for it just to offer it with a modifier to say, okay, you can have that gluten-free, you can have that dairy-free. So it's really tailored to that guest and what, guest preferences and guest allergens, which is really, really
that's huge. As I said, my daughter, youngest is gluten and dairy. My wife is like allium, which is like garlic, onions, and so it's an interesting conversation when you're going out. So and so now she's like, don't worry about allergens, I'll just tell you what I need, I'll have that and that and nothing. So the group stuff for us is difficult.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
I'll just eat the full. Like she's just like she'll I'll drink often drink. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult.
It's difficult.
So in
and
the
a lot of people say that actually, that it is, in that scenario where there's going to be confusion around the table. People are going to forget what they're having. And even if you've ordered your gluten-free version of that dish, it could end up in front of someone else.
Yeah.
And what happens then? It's the uncomfortable feeling that, oh God, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, 100%. I think I will say that we went. A good experience for me on that sort of side was we went to Chotomate a little while ago, and the manager wrote down in pen what she could have.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it was like, she was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is obviously you're paying for that, but it was amazing. But so the reporting piece. So you print out the kitchen report that goes into the kitchen, so they understand what's happening.
Yep.
You've got the front of house report, so they understand what's happening, I guess.
Yeah.
So how does that flow work? What are they using? Are they using a tablet, or are they using like your beautiful printed report to understand what's going on?
Yeah,
They do
rubber
both.
sheet, so they can do both. Yeah, they can have it digitally, or literally they can print it out. And I think it depends on the operation.
Yeah.
It depends on, we've got a lot of kitchen managers or chefs who like that bit of paper to
100%.
flick through. And you sort of touched on the kind of waste management side of it. And they've got that information as far out as they want it. So if they're looking at how many turkeys do I need to order, how many vegetarian options do I need to order, it kind of helps them manage that process. We're not a stock management solution, that's not what we do, but we kind of guide them in the right direction of making sure that they're not over ordering, under ordering, and kind of getting that right, which again is really critical. Over that Christmas period, you're dealing with really narrow margins because the cost of
And it's the
what
same
you
food.
deliver.
It's the same thing. You're ordering the same. I think the
Absolutely.
difficulty here, and my brain goes, you're ordering the same thing, so much of the same thing.
Yeah.
You can either way order over, because if you're talking about Christmas specifically, it's not like it's a generic venue where you're just doing a group booking.
Yeah.
It's a completely different kettle of fish. It's the beast that is Christmas, right? So they'll either over order and have loads, or they're under order and be in trouble. So I think. And also because you're doing it way in advance and everyone's got their choices, you're in a better position already.
Yeah, I think what we've noticed with the operators that kind of use us over Christmas, because we have many that use us year round because they have pre-order requirements, not just at Christmas, but through other kind of key points in the year. Or actually, it's something that they do as standard for, say, groups of 6, 8 or more, where they always ask for a pre-order. And that time frame, particularly for Christmas, they kind of want that as far out as possible for that exact reason, because the kitchen want to get their orders in, they want to be prepared. So they've got that information, and they can pull that out of the system at any time.
Yeah, I think that some of the things that are really important, even if it's a proprietary, I can see more people using it just generically, just switching it on. Anything over 6 or 8, because the other platforms out there are a little bit difficult that we've seen and don't have all the flexibility of what you need, especially getting everything. Right, as it onus is on the booker. It's your responsibility if you don't do it, and I'm like, I'd be like, and
it's making it easy for them, and the developments in the platform, even in the short time that I've been on board, sort of the last 3 months. The previous sort of guest flow was that the organizer would have to input all their email addresses of the guests.
Yeah.
Who knows all their friends' email addresses? I couldn't tell you. I can tell you their phone number or their fucking WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So that addition of social sharing and sharing link
100%.
has been massive. And what we're really good at is responding to that feedback. And, the platform's great, but we're still relatively new and we're still developing and learning, but we're really agile enough to take that feedback and go, right. A classic one the other day, talking to a customer up in Newcastle, they wanted their allergens to be highlighted in red on the run sheet. Great, we can do that. Let's get it on the next sprint. And
nice.
It's next.
How often? What's your sprint looking like?
Regular.
Yeah. It's hard is when you look at other platforms out there. They're like, oh, it will go in the next Q3. Like, are we talking to Open Table? And they're like, oh, Q4 we might be able
maybe
to.
next Q1.
I think that's always been something about us as a business, though. Whether it's set menu or order pay or whatever, it's with both development but also support and customer success and everything like that. We're very fast and agile. there's no 3-day SLAs or
Yeah.
week-long SLAs.
Yeah.
It's let's just action things straight away. Let's discuss things straight away. Let's work together.
Yeah.
That's why Bills came to us and said, okay, can you help us build a product?
There's the trust.
Because
There's the trust in there,
they know that they can work closely with us.
Yeah.
And they'll get that quick response. So we'll actually work in conjunction with them instead of against them.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think we do the same. Like we if someone says and it makes sense, you do it.
Yeah, obviously there's some requests.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Not that one person, one site restaurant.
Yeah.
Can you do this for me? You know, but again, it's not like you've got the 1 or 2 locations. It's going to be the groups that will come to you and say, "Can we do this?"
Yeah.
And you know, it's never really no, is it? If it's a silly request, it goes down. But if it, like the allergens thing, you're absolutely right. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah,
you know, and it's your,
all of a sudden you go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that's something that we haven't thought about, but why not? It's easy enough to.
Yeah. Do you think like so? I was at the event earlier, the Tech and Toast event earlier, and Subrams and stuff, and the rest of them were saying that they do like a customer advisory. Is that something that as this product grows, you're going to be pulling in more? Or
I would love to. I feel like we sort of do that already, but without the intention of doing that. Just by speaking regularly to our customers and understanding their pain points and what they're looking to achieve and where their goals are. But yeah, definitely something I would like to formalize, and I think
look, we're at phase 1 of set menu. This very much is, the beginning of what is going to be a quite an exciting journey. So we are very much being driven by, it's great at the moment from a kind of sales perspective. Myself and the team are talking to operators every day, and we're hearing similar themes coming up of there's definitely still gaps in our product and gaps in the market. And we're getting a really clear direction of what our next phase 2 needs to start looking like. And that's really exciting because, again, we can say, well, actually, this is operator led. They're telling us what they want to see, what's not out there currently. So come sort of January, right? Look, the focus right now is Christmas. We've got a big job to do, and there's a lot of operators out there who are looking for that support. They've got to nail Christmas this year. It's the biggest revenue generating opportunity, and they need all the support they can get. So that's the focus for us. Come January, it's what does the next phase of set menu look like, and let's go back and think about the conversations we had, like the kindly referral you passed on. We couldn't quite hit the spot for them right now, but that's definitely something that we want to look at doing when we kind of bypass Christmas and get into the next phase. So we want.
So for you, Christmas, is it all hands on deck? Because like and there must be things flying in the whole time.
Yeah, I mean the system's quite robust as well though. So I mean it's kind of all hands on deck on the lead up to
Christmas. That's what I meant.
Because it's crazy getting obviously we get a big rush of people coming in then, and obviously onboarding everybody, getting everybody set up, and then everybody's so busy actually on the Christmas period that things just kind of run and operate. So as long as we've done our job properly and we've trained them and they know what they're doing, they can just use the system.
Are you at the journey where someone can just go now, sign up, and then just get going? Or is it still a little bit more of a...
No, so we work with every operator and give them more of a personalised experience. Again, going back to hyper-personalisation. So we work with every operator.
Be right for them, right?
Exactly. And also, like we said earlier about that customization piece, everybody's got different requirements they want. So it's working with them to make sure it's set up perfectly for that brand.
I think with the flexibility piece around offering different menu styles, different ways of kind of managing their set menus, and it's not always as straightforward as I've got one set menu and that's it. It can be multiple menus and different ways of managing it. We've also introduced something called AI menu upload, feeding into the AI theme.
Nice.
So what will happen after initial onboarding? So our onboarding team will take the operator from, sales hand it over, and they take them right through to go live and then hand over into sort of customer success. But beyond that, AI menu upload will allow them to basically, as simple as take a picture of their menu, upload it into the platform. Set menu will figure it all out, put it all in the right place, align it all. You've then got the option to go in, check it, edit any part of it, but it's minutes as opposed to having to send an email to our support team, ask them to upload the menu, wait for them to do it, then check it, yada yada. It's done. It's instant.
Actually
it's
incredible.
Super exciting too.
So I was on a call a few weeks ago with some people from some of the higher ups at Open Table, and we showed them this live,
Yeah.
and they were
They
like,
said, "Can we buy it?"
they were like, "Whoa, how did you do that? That's crazy." Because it does, and it gets everything. It pulls in all, like if there's allergen information on there, if there's modifiers on there, it kind of pulls it all in and works it all out. So yeah, it's incredible. The development team took a long time working out prompts and things like that, and doing that prompt engineering to really, really define it. And there was lots of trial and error, and there was lots of things that rounds of testing to get it right, but now it's an incredible feature and such an advancement to the product.
Even internally, because actually before we sort of rolled it out to customers internally for the team who were doing the onboarding, the time saving's been immense. They were before actually uploading menu items individually per menu. For some clients that can be 3, 4, 5 menus. Now to be able to do it as part of that onboarding process, it's just saving so much time. And the accuracy is there as well.
Is it really good?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think that's super important. I mean, I can imagine it like, you know, you can go ask AI to get me a photo of it, you know, get me more information on it, have links to it, you know, you can even. So one other question for you about the platform. So you mentioned about you can share it, the link to whoever you like. The piece that I love, obviously, because we do a lot with data, is the data piece, right? And so at the moment, a couple of the reservation platforms out there are now doing pre-opt-in, so pre-ticked. Is that something you guys are doing, or is it, how does the marketing opt-in piece work? Because right now, if any operator out there, when they have a reservation system, they'll only ever get the booker. They'll never get anyone else. And unless they help with us, because, you know, the Wi-Fi generally help in that piece. But you know, I think we worked it out. I mean, I think I actually did a little thing a while ago. It was 33% of people that opt in. We've been pulling in some data from from a client that has Res Diary. It's not 33%. It must be like 10 or 9%. And they've not done the pre-tick. They've done the post-tick. So they obviously I told them to go in and change it. But it's not like 3%. It's a lot lower. Like they literally, we've seen the data coming in, and there's just like no one's ticking marketing. Group level marketing, no. You know, vendor level, no. Consistently, no. So how's that work with you guys?
So the way that we manage this is at the end of everybody's ordering experience, as soon as they've finished their order, they get the option to opt into marketing.
Nice.
So that means, again, that we're actually showing that to every single person, their guest details. But even if they don't opt into marketing, we still feed that data into the CRM.
Nice.
So that the data is still usable in the CRM. Because even if you don't have marketing opt-in for that person, it's still valuable data.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, for eventually when they do.
Food preferences, being able to like work out your segmentation, all that sort of stuff is invaluable data as well.
Yeah, massive. And also, even though that you putting the allergens through, is that going into the CRM as well, even if they don't opt in, or is that?
That's a good question.
Because that's an interesting point.
That's a good question.
I'm not sure how that works.
I'm actually not sure whether that's just going or not.
Yeah.
If not, that's something we definitely need to do.
I know this.
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one whether if they don't do any terms and conditions, whether they have to do it. But you're right. If you're sending the non-opt-in data in, they're still having that customer's information. They know when the visit happened. You know,
proof of presence.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and it just isn't there. It doesn't exist at the moment. And for Christmas specifically, there's so many people.
Such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Such a missed opportunity when you're only collecting data for one person.
Yeah.
Because there's all group bookings at Christmas, right? It's all group bookings.
So at the end, when you feed that into this, so if you what CRMs you plug into at the moment?
Airship, Actiol, and I forgot the name. Exponia.
Oh, Bloomreach. Yeah. The new name. Right. Okay. Awesome. So and so even the non-opt-in data will go into there. So did most platforms did they kick off a feedback from that data?
Yeah.
Because obviously you're still allowed to see. So
then technically we kind of are working with feedback already as well.
Nice.
Because feedback's obviously one of our ships, and we kind of have that three-way integration between us.
125 data.
Sorry,
it's now.
Not that 125 data. So.
Who have worked with us, actually, probably a good time to plug the Christmas guide. So we've been working with 125, with Airship, with 10 Kites, to produce a Christmas guide, which will be going out next week, all being well. And it's a bit of a kind of guide to how to avoid the chaos of Christmas, really focusing on exactly those things, the integrated tech, how to make the most of the data, what to do before and afterward.
Yeah. And to start with, if you're not doing it, do it now.
Yeah.
In big letters, because
I mean, you'll see there's a LinkedIn video coming out probably this week as well, of one of our operators literally saying, if you're not taking pre-orders for Christmas, you can't do Christmas.
No, I agree.
And it's so right. Like, you need a solution, and not many people have a solution in place to manage it. So
no, amazing. All right, so okay, thank you. This has been really interesting. Is there any additional other than the AI stuff? Any like fancy schmancy stuff that's coming out that you can share, or some interesting stuff? Obviously, you've got the report coming out. That's what which would be really interesting. So obviously, people will see that. But what's the next? Obviously, you're on the next iteration now. So January will come, and you're like this. So obviously, there's the AI piece, which is really interesting to discuss on that. Is there something specific or something? Oh, hey, yeah, that one went. But that one's still going. So we're all right. Is there something that you can share, or is it just we're hunkering down and making the platform better as it is?
I think I can probably answer that based on what kind of hearing. So we know that there is still a gap with things like what we call party ordering. So feeds a lot into things like the competitive socializing venues where, you go into Flight Club as a group and, you want to order a bit of a pizza platter, or, and it's the system's not right now designed to handle that. It's a very different style of ordering. So that's definitely something that is high on our priority list, because we want to be able to work with, we're quite restaurant focused at the moment, but we want to expand that kind of portfolio into other subsectors. So competitive socializing is definitely
also
one of
helping them
those.
upsell as well, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is your booking, but this is what you could have. Making that easy.
And that's huge.
Yeah. Massive.
And
it's huge.
This is something else that's actually here already. It's been in pilot phase and is now being properly released. Is AI upsell.
Nice.
So what we do is actually we allow operators to upload menus of drinks and sides and all that sort of stuff, as well as their set menu. And then what it does is basically, dependent on what they select in the set menu, it will pull out items to go, oh, okay, you've selected the steak. Here's a great red wine that pairs nicely with that. So really using that AI to generate those recommendations, which is obviously very different from how recommendations normally work, right?
Yeah, completely.
But yeah, again, just trying to bring...
Yeah, and it's things like, and I'm sure Nicole at Comtal won't mind me mentioning, so one of the things that they're looking at doing is they have quite a lot of halal customers who they don't want to then promote alcoholic products to them. They want to then push the non-alc.
Yes.
So it's something we're looking at doing with them to say, okay, if based on allergens or based on guest preferences, how do we then identify those customers and not upsell wine, upsell the non-alcoholic version, or so it's a bit of work in progress with that at the moment.
That's really interesting.
We're looking to do.
My wife's making an amazing virgin Hugo Spritz at the moment, which is very good. I say she's done a good job. It's some like FIFA Tree Pinot Grigio, but obviously it's not Pinot Grigio. So she's working on it, but it's awesome. But I wish there was more. Right there. So I spoke to I think we had Gary Digby on the other day, and he's found an awesome wine company that's done some amazing non-alcoholic wines. So you could be upselling that stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is more and more coming in, right? It's not just a zero beer anymore, is it?
No, they were certainly non-alcoholic.
Yeah. But I think it's really interesting, because I think even those menus, you wouldn't think about marrying that up, would you? But that's cool. Okay, thank you. It's really interesting. And I'll hear a little round of applause, so they can hear that louder than you. Okay, so we're going to hit to the last questions. And best restaurant.
Mine is a local one. Okay. I live in a lovely little town in East Lancashire called Rottenstall, and there's a restaurant called La Turca. It kind of does what it says in the tin. It's a Turkish restaurant, but they have, no matter what day part you go, they've tailored their menu, their offering, the service style. You could equally go there for brunch, dressed in your running gear because you just come out the gym. You can get really dressed up and have a really lovely evening social experience with a group of friends. Consistently the food is great, consistently the service is excellent. I just look for any excuse on a Saturday morning. Should we go La Turca for brunch?
It's nice to have that look.
Love it. Local, and support local. I love support local.
I'm gonna go back to the start of this conversation. I love Mexican.
Yeah.
So I'm
What's your
gonna
favourite
go.
Mexican?
I'm gonna go Oaxaca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
the
But
flavor.
they've changed the style of how it works now. So I've not been to one in Paddington. Paddington's different apparently.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
so excited to go try it. So
Yeah, need to go.
yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Done. Sorted. So yeah.
It's a date.
But yeah, it just the flavors and everything is so good though.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
The sweet potatoes are just
Yeah.
interesting.
Everything's great.
Yeah. Okay.
The only problem is you order too much every time you go.
Yeah.
End up with 5 dishes.
Well,
That's never
we had Annika on, and she was telling us there's some projects about what about the menus and about why some people were just ordering a burrito and then other people were ordering like the tapasy bits.
Yeah.
And people were just getting upset they just got this.
Yeah.
And there's loads of research. It was really interesting how to find the questions of how you do stuff and obviously menus. But she did a great project with them. Their menu is crazy good, right? I missed the one down the road, but I have got one in Oxford Street, so we're okay.
You're covered.
Yeah, I'm all right. Best burger.
I'm going to say the homemade ones my husband makes.
Oh, okay.
It feeds into my love of variety with food because it means A, it makes a really good patty, and B, I can put whatever I want on it, from pineapple to blue cheese to bacon to whatever. My husband makes a really great homemade burger, and I really struggle to find one outside of that. Very
Need to broaden
lucky.
horizons.
Yes.
So, what's yours?
Not from a specific place.
Yeah.
But I love a lamb burger.
Okay.
Just like very tender,
Yeah.
juicy. What else do you want from a burger, right?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. Best hotel.
So this one is in general, anyone that's dog friendly.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a real dog person, and I love to take my dogs whenever I travel. And there's one in West Yorkshire called the Devonshire Arms. It's part of the Bolton Abbey estate, and it's a stunning property and stunning grounds.
Yeah.
And I would go as far as to say they treat the dogs better than they treat the humans, if I'm being brutally honest. From the moment you book and they know that you're bringing dogs with you, it's the way they greet them on arrival, it's the services they offer. They will dog sit if you want to go and have an afternoon in the spa. And it's just, I love it there. And I haven't been for a while. We done a little Twixmas break a couple of years ago and took the dogs, and they had a great time. Happy dogs, happy humans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You? Tricky one.
Here's a tricky one. But I would say anywhere that has lots of stuff going on. Again, similar to like in competitive socializing.
Yeah.
I like doing things.
Yeah.
And being quite active.
You're very inspiring, right?
Yeah, so anywhere that has like activities and stuff going on as well. So me and my wife, we got married in Sandals in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And they had like all
Everything.
the water sports and stuff included. You can get sailboats out, stand-up paddleboards, but also they had, and this is the only company that I know that do this included in the package, scuba diving as part of the package.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're both scuba divers.
Yeah.
So we scuba dived like 5 days. The day of our wedding, we woke up, went for 2 scuba dives before getting married in the afternoon. Like,
That's impressive.
Hotels like that are great because there's so much you can do.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right, amazing. So, okay, so we're on the 2 questions for the next guest.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with travel. So, just because if you could choose anywhere to go on holiday and do anything on that holiday, where would it be and what would you do?
Okay. I like that.
Be creative.
Yeah, I like that.
And mine is, what's one thing that no one knows about you and they'd be really surprised to find out?
I like that. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to give you another little round of applause. Thank you very much for coming. Let's give everyone a wave goodbye. Bye.